and my landlord phoned me and said he has seen a man in my own bedroom. And I said, no, this one I won't take it, because what my eyes have not seen, that's not what I'm going to believe. So he keep on phoning me every day. And I said, no. The last time he phoned me, we were on our way to market to do purchasing supply. Then I tell the driver, no, I have to run back to the house to find out what is happening. So immediately when I went to the house, my main louvers was locked.
Okay. Before we get to the point of you going to the house,
yes,
let's retract a bit and look at how long you've been married, and if you have kids.
Yeah. We were married for 3 years.
And which year was this?
It was 2010.
2010.
Yeah, that's 22nd May.
Okay. So you married. When did you marry your wife?
I married my wife on 2000. Let's say 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
That's when you got married to
Yes.
to her.
Yeah.
And how many kids do you have?
We have twins.
You have twins.
Yes.
Twins.
Yes.
So that's the only.
Yeah, that's the only boy, one boy, one girl.
Okay. So before coming to the house and all of that, tell me, how was the marriage like? Even when, let's go back a bit to when you were dating and how it was and why you decided to marry her.
Oh, we were all attending the same church.
Which church was that?
That's Full Gospel Church International.
Okay,
We are at La Paz.
Okay.
So we were living peacefully. And I don't have any problem. She too doesn't have any problem with me. I do what I'm supposed to do as a man before I will leave from the house to my workplace. Yes. We are not engaging any problems in our marriage.
Okay, that was when you were married.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was there that some years back, before this issue happened.
So during the time when you were married, you said you were doing your responsibilities as a man and all of that. Didn't your wife have any complaints? Wasn't she complaining about anything of a sort?
No. Because even sometimes the lateness that I will come to the house will be around from 8:30 to 9.
Okay.
When I'm late in the house, or when we have gone on trek. That one, she knows that how the nature of the job is. Because you can't go on trade today, then you come back the same day. Because maybe you have no supply or your customers finished, unless you wait for the other day for you to complete your route.
Try and speak into the microphone so we can hear you properly.
For you to complete your route before you can come back to Accra to come and make your sales. Yes.
Okay. So, and at what point in your marriage did you start getting calls from your landlord?
It was around 2010.
Okay.
That the year 2010. I started getting the calls from roughly from 19th May. That's where I started getting the calls from my landlord. That he always keep on seeing a man with my wife in my own bedroom. And whenever he calls me, I tell him, no, this one, my wife is not like that. So I can't accuse my wife of doing that. So unless I've seen it with my own eyes, that's what I will believe it.
So did you at any point confront your wife? Did you tell your wife this is the calls you've been getting?
No, I didn't tell her, because I don't want any mistake. She will be saying that this and that, and it will be a quarrel between maybe both of us. So I don't want to make any argument or this thing with her. So I just set my eyes on her. That's what I did.
Okay. And did you realize any changes?
Oh yes, because even the time that I will come and the time that maybe she will cook or she will serve me with the food, that time it has been changed.
Mm.
And sometimes when I come, she will rather go there and fetch me water to go and bath.
Mm.
But when she started changing, I will go and take the bucket and fetch the water. If you ask her, she says she's tired, and I will ask, what work have you been doing in the house? And she doesn't tell me anything.
Was your wife a housewife, or she had her own job she was doing?
She was an hairdresser,
Okay.
but I decided for her to stop because of the character of some of the jobs, this hairdressing job, because of the way they live. That's why I let her quit the job.
That's an allegation. We can't actually.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean all hairdressers are into any sort of.
Yes.
So now you started getting the calls. Now narrate to me the first call when it came, and then going forward. What
The first call, I didn't mind it. The second, I didn't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
Third, I didn't. But the fourthly, we were on our way, and I called the driver and told him, no, you should rather go with the mate. You should go with the mate, because for me, this is what I've heard. So I'm begging them. I will come back whenever I met them on their way. So I went straight to the house. When I went to the house, my main louvers was locked.
Mm-hmm.
Then I came back to the house. The trap door was locked. The main door too was locked. I said no. So I knocked the door firstly. They didn't open it. I knocked it hardly. Then the woman come out with a cloth around his waist, and I push her. And he said why? I said no. Why is that I called you and you didn't pick up my calls? So I went straight to the room and find the man naked with a rubber condom on his penis.
Okay. When you got to the house,
Yes.
and you knocked at the door, did your wife know it was you?
No, he doesn't know that. Sometimes I don't go to the house in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know that I'm coming
To the house.
to the house.
So when you started knocking, did you say anything to know that? Did she hear your voice, or you only knocked without saying anything?
I just only knock. When I knock the first time, they didn't open. The second time, then she came out and opened the door.
She came out without knowing it was you.
Yes.
Okay.
So when she came out and opened the door, like she hasn't opened it fully.
Mm-hmm.
She just opened it small.
Mm-hmm.
Then I pushed her. I said, why? I said, no. I left something there. I'm come to take it. Is that why then I called her and I said, no, I'm calling you and you're off the phone. He said, no. And I said, give me way. Then I pushed her. Then she fell down.
Mm-hmm.
So when she fell down, then I quickly closed the door. Then see the man in front of our bed. He was now come to take the boxer short and well, but he hadn't removed the condom from his penis. And I told him, Mr. Man, so what my landlord is saying, that there is a man always coming to my room to sleep with my wife, it is you. And I told him today, if he didn't kill me, I will kill you for her. That's what I told him. Catch I said me, and then one kumia, me kunine.
Okay, just hold on with that one. We're talking to Frederick Ampao, and he's sharing his experience of what happened to him and actually what took him to the Nsawam prison. So as the discussion is going on, if you've got a view of your own, if you've got experience you want to share with us, or any suggestions and also advices, you can also put it to our WhatsApp number 0266 735. And again, let me state clearly that views expressed here by Frederick or anybody here is views of their own and doesn't represent that of myself or the station, Xylophone FM and Xylophone Media. So Now let's get, so when you went in and then you saw him and then you said those things and what happened. So at that point, before we get to what happened, tell me how you were feeling and what was going through your mind.
I was feeling painful because in my own marital bed, it's not that a girlfriend, my own wife, in our bedroom.
So at that point, where were the kids?
The kids were going to school. She sent the kids to school. So that time the kids haven't returned from school.
And what time was it? You said in the afternoon.
It was around 2 o'clock.
It was around 2.
Yes.
Okay.
It was around 2 o'clock. So that was the painful thing that made me butchered the man.
So when you say butchered, what actually did you do?
I used cutlass on him.
And did he die?
No, he didn't die. But I wounded him very well.
Because you couldn't control. Tell me. So again, what was going through your mind, and how was the pain?
When I saw the condom. When I saw the condom, that was what make me just to butcher him. Yeah. Because of the condom, the rubber condom on him. That's what make me feel the pain.
Okay. All right. Just hold on with that part. We'll come and then we'll talk about the whole, and then what happened afterwards and how you were arrested and all of that. But at this point, let me come to Counselor Okumin. Sir, from what he's telling us and your experience as a counselor, what can you say about it before we get into the specifics? And if you can move your microphone closer. Yes, you can pull it to. Yes.
A very big good morning to listeners of Xylophone FM. This is very an unfortunate situation. I sympathize with Frederick to some extent, but I believe that he could have done himself a lot of good.
Exactly.
If he would have been able to restrain himself a little bit. It was adrenaline was boiling up. And if he had taken about 10 seconds to hold himself up, I believe he would have made a meaningful decision, either to ask the landlord or call people to come help him arrest the gentleman. And he wouldn't have found himself in that terrible situation. Because to everything there is a law.
Yeah.
What I would say again is that from his assertion, such things as a professional counselor, we have a remote course and we have an immediate course. Such things don't start just instantly. There's a missing link with what he's saying. And normally when such situations come up, I would also want to listen to the side of the woman, but we don't have the woman over here.
But could the reason of the woman, or could any reason account for the fact that there was another man in his matrimonial home?
It is a very wrong thing on the part of the woman. And I believe that situations or when problems erupts in relationships, couples should sit back and look at the issue pragmatically and be able to solve it. From what you say, you might be very responsible, but there might be also a missing link with regards to maybe your sexual life. And with our society, most women have been trained in such a way that even when they are not satisfied, they don't complain. And sometimes they try to find solutions. Some of them find solution elsewhere. And I believe that if some husbands would have given them the platform, they would have been able to express themselves and such things would have been solved. And some of them have perceptions that if I tell my husband I'm not satisfied, you might say, oh, we are shawuni. And so some women hold on to these things and they have a way of going around it. But I personally believe that the two wrongs will not make right. And from what is happening now, I don't think that Kwesi would want, Frederick would want to go back to marry the wife, or even if she's around, she will want to even come back again. With a good book, the Bible tells us that it is only infidelity that breaks a relationship. And so Frederick had the right at that time, if he had restrained himself, said, okay, I don't want a marriage again. And you should bear one thing in mind, couples should bear one thing in mind, that if somebody is not interested in you, someone somewhere may also cherish you. And so a relationship should not be an end to a means that, okay, if he's not going to marry, I have to kill her. Or if he's not going to marry me, I have to poison him. It shouldn't be that way. Somebody somewhere may love you as you are. And so for what happened, it was unfortunate. But I believe that going further in future relationships, or for other people listening to us too, keep this thing at the back of your mind, that sometimes what I have advised couples to do is that for every 3 months, sit back with your partner, ask him or her to be plain and frank. Tell me what you don't like about me, where I fell short. If you can put these things down. If you can record it and put it down. And look at it pragmatically and try and work around it. What can you do? If it's something, maybe a habit you've adapted, and it's difficult to break the habit, you can ask for the assistance of the partner to help you. Again, what I can also say is that sometimes when we go into relationships too, we are two different kind of people, and we want to force people to be just like us, and that is a problem. I counsel people and I tell them that, you see, sex is, with our society, people don't really talk about it, but we have people who cannot hold themselves. Always they wish that they have sex every day. Some have every day, sometimes 3, and some can also abstain from it for maybe 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months. But if you can abstain and your partner cannot abstain, don't say that we are two different people altogether. And so sometimes we need to bridge. We have to find fertile grounds where the two of us can come together and understand these things. And so when those things happen, I believe that such problems won't come up, because I believe it's a problem that had been there, but the woman refused to communicate to him. And he felt very betrayed and wanted to just end everything as at that time. But you can't do it that way.
Frederick, during the time of, okay, now let's get a bit into perhaps what could also account for this. Were you satisfying your wife sexually?
Oh yes.
Did you get that impression? Did she tell you? Did she complain to you of some sort of sexual
No. She never complained to me.
And were you looking at yourself, or at the time, did you see yourself, or do you consider yourself as a strong man who was able to satisfy a woman?
Oh yes. What I'm supposed to do, I do for her. Yes.
And you were sure she was satisfied?
Oh yes.
During the time of the relationship, even before you got married, did you suspect, or was there any instance of cheating?
No, me. I didn't even suspect of cheating on me.
You didn't see anything like that?
No.
So, in your own thinking, what do you think might have got her to bring in another man into your home?
Me, what I was thinking is maybe already he was dating the man before maybe I came in. In my mind, that was what I was thinking.
But how long did you date your wife before getting married? How long did you?
Almost 7 months to 8 months before we get preparing. Because that time I was having money. So when I met, I told her that if I meet a lady and I propose to her, I don't let her to tell me, oh, young train, no. I want straightforward. So if we stay for 1 month, I will know your mind, you too, you know my mind. Then what I will give you my heart, me to you, then I will know. So the good thing that I was doing for her.
Speak into the microphone so we can.
The good thing that I was doing for her, that's the reason why we quickly get married around 7 months' time.
Again, let me understand this. In the course of the relationship or during the marriage, what were some of the things that she complained that she didn't like about you?
She talk about friendship. Because sometimes I'll be with my friends and maybe I will come back home after work. He said, no, I'm tired, so I have to stay in the house. But I'll just go and see some of my friends out. That's what she normally complained about friendship. Yes.
And was that the only thing she complained about?
Yes. That's the only thing that she always complained.
So now when you came to the house and then you saw the man but this man, is this somebody you had seen before?
I've not even met him before, and I don't know where he's coming from.
But at the point when you were getting the phone calls about from your landlord and and counselor, I'll come to you again.
Yeah.
Note this now about third people and how third parties and their responsibilities in people's marriages. Now, at the point when you were getting these calls from your landlord, telling you of another man coming into your home, did you report it to your pastor, to anybody else?
No.
So why did you decide to keep it to yourself?
Because I don't want my marriage, like these marriage problems, to be going out. So, like, I wanted me and the lady to solve it once. But she couldn't notice of that.
So when you say you wanted to solve it once and she didn't take notice of that, what actually what did you wanted to do?
Because I heard a story. They have been phoning me and calling me always. So I was giving him the gap for her to notice that no, maybe my husband has seen what I'm doing, or the landlord must call him on what is happening. So I rather should think of it so that I can put a stop to it.
So you were expecting your wife to come clean?
Yes.
On it, to come to you and tell you what she's been doing.
Yes.
If she had come to you and told you that this is what I am doing, what would you have done?
Well, like for that time, like I would just accept his apologize. Because even in the Bible, it says if you met somebody with your wife in your own bedroom and maybe the lady or apologize, you just, if you don't like her, just send her to the family and tell this and this and that. But if you like your own, then the both of you must stay, then plan for what will be on your future.
So one would say you knew all of this, but yet you decided to inflict wounds on the man.
Because the most painful, that was what I'm saying, the most painful thing that I met was the condom on his penis.
But if you had seen this man in your room but well clothed and wasn't naked, you would have reacted differently?
Oh yes, because that time I've not seen any nakedness on. But this one is fully naked. And the lady too, with a cloth covered around his, no, I can't take it.
So the rubber you saw on his genitals, was it already used?
It was already used. Even you see the juice in it.
He calls that one juice. All right. So again, we're having conversations with Frederick Ampao, and he's telling us his experience and what he saw. And then also soon we'll be getting into his experience at Insawan prisons. And so when you saw the rubber with the end product in the rubber, is actually what infuriated you to take that action.
Yes.
And in the process, did you also harm your wife in any way?
Oh yes. Both of them. I didn't leave one and mistake one.
So you used the cutlass on both your
the woman and the man. But the lady, I used the belt, my hook belt, to slap him.
So for for the lady, for your wife, you didn't use the cutlass on her.
No, I cut him. I used the cutlass on her once before I removed my belt, then started beating her.
And so at that time, so when you had gone for, now tell me again, let's come back a bit to the house you lived in. Was it a compound house?
Yeah, it was not fully compound, but it was 4-bedroom. That's a four sets. Yeah, we have a kitchen and other things. Yeah.
So it means that at the point or at the time when the man was coming into your home, definitely your wife was aware somebody else might have seen her.
Yes, because the landlord, he doesn't go out because he's old, so he normally used to stay in the house. Yes.
Okay, so as and when you saw the man naked sitting on your bed, and then you decide to go and get, what was the cutlass at the point?
We are having a backyard garden at the back of my window. We do some small backyard there. So I was having the cutlass inside under my bed. So that's where I put the cutlass out. Then he was rather pushing me for him to run away. Then I push him, so he bring his hand. Then I use the cutlass to cut the hand.
That's your wife?
No.
The man?
The man.
So who was pushing you for who to run away?
The man was rather coming to push me for him to run away.
Oh, okay.
So at that time too, I've already locked the door. We are using the back door was earlock. So I've already locked the door. So when he was coming to push me, then I raised the cutlass, then cut the hand.
Okay.
Yes. So that time he became weak. Then I pushed him down. Then I started on him on the floor.
Okay. All right. So we'll not get into a bit on what happened. So now after the incident with the inflicting of the wounds and everything, then what happened? What did you go? What did you do next?
So I went to one of my friend's house and told them this is what I've done.
But at that point, tell me, when you had done that to them, I'm sure they were wounded.
Yes.
In your mind, did you leave with the impression that they were going to die, or you knew they?
Oh no! Meaning I was not thinking that maybe they would die or bet.
But did you have in mind inflicting or using the cutlass? Did you have in mind to kill him?
The man, I was telling him that if he didn't kill me, I will kill him on here. But because of when people rush.
So people rushed in?
Yes.
Who and who heard? How did they hear about it?
There were some neighbors around. So when they hear about the woman shouting, then they came out. So that's the reason why I just stopped it, then left the house. Yes.
Okay, so then when they came and then they rushed in, and so I'm sure there might be blood all over.
Oh yes.
And then you left. So tell me, so what happened after you left to where?
I went to one of my friend's house. Then informed him that this is what I have done. Then later he said, okay, then I should stay here some more. So in the evening I came back to the house. When I came, the children were in. And I said, the landlord said I should give them food. So I gave them food. I went to the room. Firstly, I let them wait outside. Then remove the bed sheet where the blood was being poured. Then put it in a basket. We were having a dirty cloth basket there, so I put it in it.
So at that time, where was your wife?
That time, I don't know where they have been sent to. So in the night, when the children were asleep with me in the room, around 9:30 to 10, I heard a knocking on my door. First one, I didn't open it. Second one, then I came out. It was one community police, then a CID. And they say they want me at the La Paz police station. I said, okay. He said, no, I shouldn't do any mistake. Otherwise, it will take me to the law court. I said, okay. Then I was being hanged with a handcuff on my hand. Then the landlord came out and said, they will come and see me at the police station there.
So after you did that and you went to your friend's house, you didn't call your family, you didn't call your pastor?
I just tell one of my sister's daughter.
Speaking to the microphone.
I just tell one of my sister's daughter that this is what has happened. So he should inform my grandmother. Yes.
Okay. And so now, so that evening they came to arrest you.
Yes, they came to arrest me.
So who took over your
the case? It was the landlord who take care of the case.
And then, so that evening, tell me, they took you where?
They took me to La Paz police station. That's where I was being kept. So on the following day, the landlord and my sister daughter came to the police station. And when they came there, I told my sister daughter, this is what has happened. He said, okay, then she will go back and inform the families again.
So at that point, when you had come home and your wife was not there, did you know where she was?
I mean, that time I was thinking that maybe she has gone to the family's place.
But whatever wound she had, wasn't it enough to go to the hospital? Wasn't it intense to go to the hospital?
Maybe she will go to the hospital first before maybe she will go to the family place.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so the following day, your family, your sister's daughter, that is your niece,
yes,
and then your landlord came there, and then you narrated the story to
yes,
them. Okay. Hold on there. Let me go to counselor and find out third-party involvement in marriages like that, and how, whether or not whoever reported who was right to have done that.
Thank you very much, Kwesi, again. I've been listening to Frederick for some time now, and I've been picking some points out of what he's saying. From what I wrote down, he said he first received a call. The event actually took place on the 22nd of May. And he said received the call on the 19th of May from the landlord, with a period, let's say, a period of maybe 3 days to 4 days. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
But Frederick made mention that he had wanted to address the issue if the wife had come up with it. This is so short of a period, 3 days. You receive calls and you react. I sincerely believe that sometimes third parties in relationship are a problem. And most times, if you are not very matured or you have not galvanized your relationship to extend that influence of third party, it will push you people out of where you're supposed to be. This is a situation of a landlord telling you this. I believe Frederick should have taken his time to sit down with the wife. I have had information. I won't tell you my source, but from a very reliable source, that this is what is happening. I want to know the truth. I believe that if this thing he had done this initially, he would have been able to come up with something, or the wife would have told her, okay, I have a challenge and I need you to help me. Or the wife might even confess to him. But upon a second thought, I realized that maybe Freddie might have an issue with anger management too. And the Bible says in Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turns away anger. And you read Proverbs 22:23 says that do not associate people who are always angry. A little patience would have done this. I've always said this on a couple of platforms, that there's a thin line between wisdom and foolishness. That is patience. If you're able to have patience in every situation, you'll be able to manage it. Third parties normally would influence. I said here the other time that you cannot stop birds from flying over your heads, but you can stop them from making their nest in your hair. People will tell you a lot of things. Even a relationship might not have problems. People would perceive and suggest certain things to you, but it is up to you as an individual to digest the information and compare and contrast and see whether what they are saying is true. You don't react based on what you have been told, but sometimes sit the person down. Let's be frank with ourselves. Why do I for sure? Because as I was saying initially, that there is a remote cause. If we have had opportunity of also speaking, the lady might also tell them this is what's. But my mistake was that I was not difficult. I had a challenge telling my husband, or maybe I was telling him in one way or the other, but he was also not listening. If she might not have told you, there might be even a sign to tell you that these are things that are going on. Because he was saying that initially you come from work and she fetches water for you and takes you to the bathroom for you to wash down, but she stopped it. That is when you need to ask. You are not going anywhere. You are not working. I've asked you to stay at home so that I can fend for you. But why are you so tired? And so it gives you a cause to be able to look at some of the issues. I've always said that signs are there. It's like you as a human being. Before you get sick, there are symptoms. And the symptoms, you need to take care of the symptoms before it aggravates into another thing altogether. And so there were signs over there. But Freddie maybe glossed over it. He said again that when he returns from work, he goes with his friends to sit out. There are women who always want their husbands to be around them. Maybe at that time that she wants to confide in you, you're always outside with friends, and you felt like, oh, let me satisfy my friends. And some of these things came up. All the two, I will not say that anything that they did was right, but it was a mistake on both sides. And if people are home listening to us, they should know that relationship issues don't come up just in a day. You need to address it. You need to, if you address it and the person is not willing to listen, get a third party, a mature third party. Maybe we have a lot of people who go to churches and the mosques. Go to some of your imam or go to your pastor and sit him there and tell him that this is the challenge you are facing. Because if he has said that, oh, my wife addressed it at the church, or I took it to my church and the church didn't do anything about it, then that means you would have gone further to speak to a relative. Because normally with any family or every marriage, we have people we ask that who is going to be maybe attest to the relationship in case we have a problem. And those are the people normally when you have an issue, you go to them and you address the issue. But none of these things, was addressed, or none of these people were contacted. And you said you didn't want your issues to go out. Maybe sometimes you don't have the capacity to handle some of these things, because sometimes familiarity with couples makes it such a difficult that he won't listen to us, he won't listen to you. So why don't you get a third party outside your jurisdiction? I always say that sometimes you don't go to relatives, because sometimes relatives might take sides. Because, oh, she's our daughter, take your time. He's our son, take your time. But go to a neutral person who is matured and has the capacity to help you. And let me address the issue dispassionately to be able to help you. We won't have arrived at this stage. Because we won't have arrived at this stage where the damage has already been done. And again, leaving them and going, I always believe that sometimes it will be very hard to do, but if you're a little bit patient, very patient, you could have tried and inquire from the gentleman. Because the wife, anybody who goes to cheat on the husband or the wife, normally will complain where he or she feels that what is lacking at home. You can ask people who cheat. They will tell you. They will tell you that, oh, the wife complained that my husband is not doing this, he's not doing that, he's not doing that, and my wife is also not doing that, and that's why I have come in for you. And the person is expecting you to do what the wife is not doing or what the husband is not doing. And so I believe that it was an unfortunate situation. It's too bad, but it's like a spilt milk. What is left behind is what we have to help Frederick recapture what he needs to do with his life again. That's what I can say for now.
Frederick, do you have any anger issues? Do you have any? Are you temperamental?
No.
You're not?
Yes.
So for you as a man, what would you say are some of your weaknesses?
The only thing is the friendship matter. That was what was worrying my wife. Yes.
Okay. Now you were arrested, taken to the police station, and then what happened afterwards? Okay,
in the police station, the next day, the investigator came out and removed me and write my statement down. And later, I was being sent back to the cells. So when I was being sent to the cells, then they came out again. They came back again and picked me to the commander. When the commander saw the pictures of the incident, because the landlord were rather trying to get bail for me, for us to just remove the matter to the house and solve it. But the commander said because of the pictures of the incident, he cannot grant me the bail. So the CRD should process the matter to court.
Okay, so we're still talking to Frederick about sharing his experience. The number is 0266660735. 0266660735. Your suggestions, your views, your advices are welcome. I'm seeing a lot of them coming through. Also, for those watching on Facebook as well, you can leave your comment in the Facebook section, and I'll make sure I read all of them. After you had been arrested that night and taken to the police station, and the following morning you had been taken out, your statement had been written. At that point, were you regretting your actions?
Oh yes. Even like that place, when the woman was to be there, like I've been apologized for her, for us to let this matter cut up, for us to go and solve it in the house.
So when the commander says that you should be processed to court, what was going through your mind?
I just apologized to the commander, but he didn't take it. He said I intentionally made my mind to kill the man. So the families are saying they should send the matter to court. And I said, okay, if that's what he said, I don't have any problem.
So how long did you spend at the police station and then you went to court? How was the experience like, the whole point?
The police station, I spent almost 3 days there. The following Monday, I was being sent to court. But when I reached the court there, I just raised up my hand.
Okay, so at the police station, did your wife come to see you? Did any of her relatives come to see you?
It was only my sisters, that's my niece and the landlords and some people at the house. They normally came there to visit me.
What of people from your workplace?
The workplace, it was only 2 people that they normally used to come. But when my wife will come, I will not even see her.
So your wife came there, but you didn't see her, or she didn't come at all?
Yeah, she will come, but only go to the commander. Then I don't know what she and the commander will go and see. So on the Monday, when I was being sent to court, when I read the court there, I just raised up my hand. The judge asked me with the offense or the charges that they brought against me, because the first charge was manslaughter, and the second charge was attempted to kill. And when they asked me of all this, that am I guilty, I said yes, but I'm guilty with explanation. So the judge said, okay, then let me explain myself. So when I have finished explaining, then he said, no, he won't take my plea at the first plea. So he will adjourn the case for the next 2 weeks for AG to take advice on the case. That's what the judge told him. Then he just sent the case to another 2 weeks again.
So at that point, did you have a lawyer?
No, I was not having a lawyer.
The police didn't give you a lawyer. Nobody was representing you.
No, nobody represented. When we went to court, I always speak for myself.
Okay, and so the 2 weeks. So you were brought back to the police cells.
Yes, but from the 2 weeks, when we went to the court for the 2 weeks time, that one, the judge adjourned the case again. So that one, I was not brought to the police station again. I was being sent to remand prison.
At where?
In some prisons.
So during that 2 weeks time you were at the La Paz cells,
yes.
Again, your wife didn't show up.
No, that one I didn't meet my wife over there.
She didn't come to see you at all.
No,
what of her relatives?
It was only my in-law. That's his brother. Always used to come over there.
And when he comes to see you, what are some of the conversations that?
I just told him that no, he should speak with his sister for us to resettle the matter in the house. Even if the case is in the court, we can withdraw the case to the house for us to sit down and talk. So that any cost that they bear, I can also refund their monies to them. Yes.
Okay, but it didn't yield any result.
No.
So now you were remanded in Insawam prisons.
Yes.
And then, so finally, what happened before you went to the?
So after the 2 weeks time, I was being brought again to the court. So that was the day that just started reading my statement. He asked me again. He said, am I still guilty or not guilty? I said, I'm guilty. And he said, from the advice of the AG, that the court still shall on process the matter. And I said, okay. So when they asked me, the woman came.
So yes, at the court.
Yes, the woman came.
And what of the man?
The man too also was at the court there.
And were they together, the man and your wife, or they came separately?
They were sitting where the people were. So
were they sitting together?
That one, the man was separated and the woman too.
Okay.
So when the judge asked me all these things, I pleaded guilty of my charges, and I begged the court. Then they called the lady, and when they asked the lady,
who, that is your wife?
Yes. For how many years did she knows the man? And the lady said she knows the man before we were being married.
So that's what she said at the court, that
yes.
she knew the man you
yes.
had met in your room
yes.
before you got married to her.
Yes.
And what again did she say?
And I said, I didn't. She didn't even said anything. And the judge allowed her to go and sit down. And they called the father.
The father of who?
My woman, the wife.
And
asked, have I paid the bride to the family? I said, and the father said yes. And I said, okay. Then the judge allowed me to go and sit down from the box. Then he said he's going on break. He will come back. So when he returned from the break, then he started narrating what somebody did some years ago. Then after that, he came on conclusion of my matter. It was there that a state lawyer stand up and talk on my behalf.
But this state lawyer that stood up and spoke on your behalf, have you?
I don't even know him.
So he had not heard from you. You had not had any interaction with him.
He hasn't even came to the prisons and took my statement that I'm standing for you, or so I want to take your statement and go and read how we can solve the case in the court. No, I don't know him, where this man come from.
So he stood up and what did he say?
He stood up and was begging the court to forgive me. And the judge started saying that if this is what the judge has, the lawyer has said, and with my old plea of guilty and the charges that they brought against me, count one, the accused person is hereby being sentenced to 6 years imprisonment. Count two, also 6 years imprisonment, making 12 years with hard labor. That's what the judge said. And he said the sentence was to be more than 20 years, but due to the plea of the lawyer and my plea also, he has reduced it to 12 years. That's what the judge said.
At that point in your life, looking at where you're coming from, having your family together and you having your job, you're about your normal duties and life was good for you, what was going through your mind?
It was very painful. Even when the sentence was being passed out, I urinated on myself.
You urinated on yourself?
Yes. When the sentence was being passed. Because I was not thinking it was this where it will land me up.
At that point, where were your children? Were they in the courtroom?
No, that time they were not there.
Okay, and your family, was anybody from your...
Yes, my family's, one of my brother was there, and my niece was also there, and my landlord was also there.
At the court, did you try to beg your wife? Did you try to...
I just apologized to her before the judgment was passed by. Yes.
So, like you said, when the judgment was passed, then you urinated on yourself. what was going through? Did you think your life had come to an end? What was going through?
Oh yes, because 12 years. I said to myself, when am I coming out? That's what I said to myself.
And did you, at that point again, feel that you deserved that sentence?
No. Because I was thinking that maybe he will give me a fine for me to pay to the victims that was what I was thinking. Yes.
Okay, so now from there, what happened?
From there, I was being brought from the box, then sit down, and they decided to put a handcuff on me.
At that point, for your wife, the man, your relative, for anybody who was there, did you see anybody crying? Did you see anybody?
Oh no, it was my sister's this thing that my brother, I mean, they were sharing tears, but for the complainant, my wife and everything, they just went out. They even didn't just come to where I was sitting at the suspect place. They didn't even come there to say even something to me. They just went. Just went out.
Okay, we'll come back and then we'll go to some prisons and their experience. So clearly, Counselor, from what he's saying, he's made the point that the wife at the court actually said the man in question is somebody she had known before she met him and then they get married. Could this be a situation where old flames or old firewoods had connected?
It could be. It could be. On the grounds that, because see, there's a problem with our society. I use the word problem with our society is that we most of us are bereft of the truth in terms of when people meet people. If you are dating somebody and you feel you are comfortable with the person and somebody comes along, you need to tell the person, listen, gentleman or lady, I'm already into someone and I'm more comfortable over there. So, well, you are coming with a marriage proposal. I don't want it. I would want to wait for my person. You understand? But sometimes you may not be able to understand the chemistry behind why people would be with someone and allow somebody to get married to him, or sorry, to her, and let on go back cheating on that person. You can't understand the chemistry. But I always say that sometimes relationships, there are two things involved: emotions and reasonings. But many a times with regards to relationships, we allow emotions to override reasoning. When emotions override reasoning, you don't see signs of the person not being interested in you. The Bible says in Jeremiah 17:9, it said the heart of man is exceptionally wicked and deceitful. Who can trust it? That means if you allow the heart to take decisions, the heart may be attracted to someone, but the mind, when the mind have to look at pragmatically, you might realize that it doesn't make sense. People leave their jobs or people leave their families and run away with gentlemen and run away with women to go to marry. Later on to come back and say that, what happened to me? Why did I do that? Because we allowed emotions to override some of these things. Frederick is a victim of what he's saying, and the lady confessed at the court that he knew the gentleman previously before he met him. He's a victim of a situation where maybe some ladies would want to marry, but yet still wants to keep their old boyfriends, maybe on the grounds that he hasn't got money to be able to go and perform the rites. I want him, but my family is putting pressure on me to get married, and so you let me marry the first bidder, the person that comes in first, and still keep him behind, knowing that nobody will get to know. But in life, there's something like a secret. It will come out one day. It will hit you unexpectedly, and so per what Frederick is saying, that is what might have happened. And genuinely, if, like what I was saying, if there's a problem, remote, a partner will complain. And we can have basis of you complaining. She said this some time back, and maybe I didn't pay heed. And so it's rather unfortunate. It's very disheartening, and he has to be a victim of this. Whereas there might be another woman somewhere who might also have been interested in Frederick, and it wouldn't have happened this way.
So Frederick, at the court, when your wife said she knew the man before meeting you, did it mean that they had a relationship before?
Oh yes.
That's what it meant.
Yes, because the man was the ladies. They came from the same hometown. They were from the same hometown.
So in the point of the dating, did your wife tell you about him?
No. He didn't mention anybody's name to me.
Okay, let me do a few messages and then we would continue. Okay, this one, let's say, DJ Tough GH says that. So it says, tell the counselor it's not making sense. Says you don't know how it feels to see another man on your wife. So it says that sorry to the man, we will support you. This counselor. So counselor, a lot of people don't seem to agree with you.
The issue of patience.
Come again.
Exercising a little bit restraint would have saved your situation. And comparing the situation as at now, which comparing the two, which makes sense compared to what some of these people are texting in. You would have butchered somebody, and maybe if it wouldn't have been 12 years, you would have been put behind bars or maybe sentenced by hanging. That is what you prefer. Well, that is your opinion.
So Larusso also says, sorry to the man, we will support you. And this counselor is talking. Okay, so you don't agree with counselor. Okay, it says that Raspino Zeno says at West Coast doing the listening. Okay, this one is saying that I don't side with the counselor on his submission at all, and that is coming from Vincent Kweku Adam AJ. AJ doesn't seem to agree, and Sister Favlin Fashion says, counselor, you're not making sense. So says the Sister Fia also, or Sister Favlin. I'm sure you need to take and listen to what the point counselor is trying to make about exercising constraints and having self-control in matters like this, and how it could have turned out to be. Clearly, from what Frederick is saying, that if he had, or looking back at the issue, he regrets. Now at in Sawam, or so from the court, where were you taken to?
I was being taken straight to Sawam prisons.
And again, getting into the prisons, knowing that you're going to serve 12 years, what were you thinking?
When they were ready to send me there, I was even crying more. That what am I going to do over there? Yes.
And then you got there.
When I went there, when we went to the gate, we bowed before the gate.
Was it a custom that anybody who gets there?
No, but the gate is too small. So you need to bow before you can enter. The main entrance, you need to bow before you can enter. So when I entered to the reception there, then the weatherman said, do you understand the meaning of what you do? I said, no. He said, if I am somebody that I do any hard lifting outside, here I've left it all at the back of the gate. So here I've come up I should humble myself for I to serve my sentence finish, then go away. That is the meaning of what I did.
Okay. And so life started for you at Nsawam.
Yes.
And there, what happened?
Okay, for the first time when I went there, they just sent me to the second reception there. Then the CID give the warrant to the weather. Then after they have removed my dress, then they take any mark that is on me. They just write it down, ask me where I'm coming from, my hometown, my everything. Then they said if something has happened to me, whom they are going to be contacted. Then I give them. Then I was there. The another inmate over there. They tell the inmate to send me to the block that I'm supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Then the inmate carried me to the block. Then I was being sent to block 2, cell 5. That was where I was being sent. Then the block leader came in and gave me a welcome. They asked me where I'm from, and then the case that brought me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I tell them this. Then they give me a place to sit. That's what it started me from.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, in the night, we were about to sleep around 4.
You're sleeping at about 4.
4 o'clock. Then they started showing me the laws in the room. We have about 99 governing laws in the room.
99.
Yes, in the room.
What were the basic ones?
1, you don't need to shake your cloth in the room. It is an offense for you to shake your cloth.
Like in tree, what would you say?
Yes, sir. And say, "Obe pro atadim, ewo dem."
It's an offense.
Yes. And 2, and say obe chosin, odi duawa, ebe hye wonum, atwi ewo dem. And now benu no trim ewo dem.
This you have to step out.
Yes. And ubedi din so a ese odi ade si ho. Ana ade se form asana odi waduane no esisto. Oko private. No one can tell say boy. Na wo ya ho ekwa charge.
So even when you're using the washroom,
Yes.
you need to sort for permission.
Yes.
There's somebody in charge of that.
Yes. And then say boy.
And he said, "Oh, corner, say boy," and he say, "No."
And I said, and then I just where you go.
Really?
Yeah.
So these were some of the basic. And what are some of the basic rules?
And unti me new naked engine a demo. I saw quite a ponechi. Now what change on?
So about how many of you were in there?
Okay, we are our room near 180.
180.
Yes.
And what is the size of the room?
Oh, if I say, and me hane baby.
It's just about this studio.
Yeah.
180 people.
If I say one bed waha, na another bed is on the other side. It is our bed, you know. For cell leader, cell pastor, cell judge, and I cell police.
So you had the whole nation.
Yes.
In the cell. There's a cell leader, cell pastor,
cell judge, and a cell police.
So who appoints them? Who gets
yeah, I need choose. You show one near the mount. We are good at near the amount.
And the cell police, you know. What does he do on wedding?
Cell police, no. So for man, or no book no cran. Say obecho, and obecho. Say bia, wobu more. Wobu more or them man. No, I don't complain a command. Say as soon as see, or yes, Tina charge you for court.
What charge it? Obi ade ne court or cell room wa.
Sunday and you lay any day as him.
Tenu na ye cell judge in ejuma.
Cell judge ejuma na me.
Jisam pa for yi e for sankofo.
Sankofo.
Ntin kai na mo dahin.
Oh, yeah the parking as go say aka even say aka meet my mama demonstrate say na ye da no kura aka me demonstrate akire mo.
O de ento aso demonstration kofo butini hu ni papa. And the try so be describe your sharing how a mother.
And I know I said I would to sad yanwa. Send us a dia shisheno. The same me say no. Me tea ebe koni say. Meda halfway. Meda minchim. Na ba kun abehye. Ya de ba ku ti ba abehye me nan me nan kokom ohona ba akuti ba behye enu no gab ya magab mam gab baba ma na bi obi afrim ekofie discharge abam
nti amo beda munya botre sela ma ya hihye mo saa na
hihye se na obi betimi unso be de ba ko even so who said ekwan kakra bi kura abamu a yede bi ba behye mu
nti wana hihye mo saa
eno ye se cell leader ne cell jet ne se commandos fo na mo ho no your VIP your VIP ne ozungu
mo VIP
ani ozungu
e was cell ho
ai
nti uko na wo he
me bi kan kwa de mi ko ozungu ti mi fi zongo no mo fa ase ne besra me no awo bre mi scan ana me ko tia myself 5 cities ani mi fi zongo de ba VIP.
And what's the difference between the zongo and the VIP?
VIP ni change zongo no.
And zongo no ya shisha mo say sardine.
And no VIP kwa ya shisha wo.
So what's the difference?
But difference kakra benya say bia obetimi atre onanim onkuma onan. Obetimi atre onanim onkum.
Xylophone FM 102.1.
Okay, we're still having conversations with Frederick Ampao, and earlier we've had talks on what actually took him to the Nsawam prisons. Now we're talking about, or he's sharing his experience at the prisons with us. Anti Uko prison hono, Amfi, Edian Biemna Esie. What was the life there like? What did you experience?
Hono. Ya mimi ko huya ni ye te se masa homosexuals memma ne memma da ekoso hopa
enti memma ne memma omoda meba yebeba ho, and whether or not enti one kasa no obi ni odai
memma affected.
Okay, you have a bass anchor one so. Counselor,
we see
clearly from what he's saying, the prisons is not a place that anybody wants to be there. And how have we gone wrong? What have we got wrong with our prisons?
Thank you very much, Chrissy. The issue with our prisons is it's supposed to be a correctional center or correcting people. We don't go to prison to punish people, but we go to prisons to be able to correct people. But we realize that our facilities that we have is overstretched, and therefore it's now serving as it's not serving the purpose to which it's supposed to serve. Either you become hardened with what you did, or if by the grace of God you were able to reform and come back to society and pick it up from where you left off. It's something that it's something that I believe the Ministry of Interior and the government should take a second look at it again, and the prisons board should take a look at it again, because I've been there a couple of times, and you see the normal people, the capacity, it's overstretched. And so that is it. His situation is quite unfortunate. It's a decision that he made had changed everything around him, and I sympathize with him, but I believe that all is not lost. We can still help him come back to where he started from.
All right, we'll come back to helping him come back to. Now, at the prisons, you said you're a victim.
Yes.
How did it happen? Okay.
Hono.
I'm fake. Cause I go with microphone.
Hono mono. So, eduane die mu ntino, unless say odo ho beko. Ana obeka che nipa obi na obi eledi.
Akọ
nipa na oye gay no. Ana obe ma na. Ana oye sadem. Nti te sɛ ɔno ne kɔ a ɔno bɛka kyerɛ sɛ sɛ ni sɛ na ɛwom
aduane wo but wo see aduane die nti wokɔ hɔ no
aduane nyɛ
nti ba wokɔ prison no
na ahyɛ sɛ na ɔmo ba kakra
na wɔbusuafo ne ba
na mo fa ase ne bank bet ahon kyerɛ kɔ ba nti na ɔmo agyae ba
nti ɔmo ba bet how many
mfa sɛ bɛyɛ 1 year nti from 1 year time nyinaa no ɔmo ma bi nti ɛno mu na ma ahon kyerɛ no start sɛ ɛba ɛna ma ahon kyerɛ no start sɛ ɛba nti after ahon kyerɛ no mu no ana me a mede me ho ɛkɔ boy no wɔn am kwakyɛn sɛ ni sɛ na ɛteɛ no so okay ɔno bɛkyerɛ mu obi ɔwɔ ɛyɛ block 3 ɔyɛ baron sɛ mekɔ hɔ a meka ma ahyɛ mo kyerɛ na ɔno nso bɛyɛ den ɛbɛboa me ampa mekɔ meka kyerɛ no ama ɔboa me bibia na ɛnyɛ sɛ boa mpo boa papa bɛn ɔno bɛka kyerɛ sɛ ɔno bɛda for the first time but ahyɛ no better friend bɛma ho ama ne bɛma aba no ho aba agu hɔnu no ho ba wi a asa na wa ma on de won sa esisi ne bed na no asa na de ne bɛma no ahyɛ woto owi a wa ma 2 Ghana cedis ene gari no mak konkunu sɛ na weather for ne hyɛ mayan no obɛma ya no so fu ko mak ketwa no 3 cedi mak no mama ba ko pe asa eno pe ene ade obetimi ajama
nti first day na nipa ne lady wo call ho no na wadwin mu no na ade na e koso wadwin mu
o maybe na me fe say bia like enya din bia sa na me fe say enya but ono boy ne ka chem so ono that's how ono e de survival e wa ha ti ono ka pramanfo bebre nche da enim sese na oye
nti ono wo call ho no afi uko hia nipa no nkomo ben san de call so
me ko hia no one me kan se me me ne girlfriend nti meti ase ana me se an ana ka chan so on person me disclose a kire obia na me hia se me na me hia den yo me ba no ha o de be ma me and I'm see you mate nti sa agreement na me no ekoye and one
okay nti eda na mo koye na sa da na no die and I will call by
there be da na one man na but the following day no ana o sha se one me beta
nti defo o call ne ho ana oba ho
me call no me ho de so nti me ho de say na de ho ya you nti ono no ho no ono awia no mpie so ono yo ska nti ono mama for like boy on or ye ediane e de bren
nti ono no nkwa no da ne cells
there be I say ho na awia no bia ye wa da ko pe na no aduane ano no de ono o wane mpa wo da so ono we ska timi tompa yes we ska timi tompa nti ono no nkwa na o shed edem ho nti me ko ho sa na me ne mi no pe na wo ne bed nim
nti enipa no o ye nipa ben sa
France o ye image sen ya beto ye koke baron ay achi no koke baron achi no
nti first day na wo call ye no na no ba beda no cheche mu chen den e ba ne sen mo ye ne sen
oh first day dem fa say me de o ma me de me ne be ma ne shemanum na metafra ano na ma na no ho ba wie
nti e ba ne sa no a no hwe we no de na wo feeli
me mo de na me enya me de mum but ono no de na ye ne de cause na oseso me hwa no miamia me hwa me no no so miamia
ono suso wo
me hwa no miamia me hwa ma ba na no so ye ne de ti no ba wie no wie na oga se mentena se kakra ana metena se no ana de enku ama me san butu no de enku efa me to kwan no ana fe oye so de me ne be ma ne to de she ho ana ye me ya because that time my operation
no you operation
hernia
I don't know. Hospital 1 hour year no. Prison 1 hour year.
My me wa abonti ase na me ko.
Nfa na nsem ni nyina e ba besi.
Nti me fa say wo ye na asase na e me ya. E me din. So the sha na me Philippine. But fiti ho ko na no. O ye we no na fi. Be say me kono to aso na no. Afena menti.
No, first day na o ye na eye o ya no we njai.
Oh, any mom there. No buy no ana o jai.
But o dey opeso dey eye na kwan ni ho na eye wo ye.
Of also me ko.
Usu ye na ye dey.
Oh, na like nani so kakra atata mani ase but o ka chem say asase say na e din but if you work one day anya me din him. Asase say na o say e din but if you work one anya me din him. Eno kwa mpono first day no yewe no na de che na me ko private na me bre.
Na wo bre. Enti efi ho no e na so o ma oden.
Ono yewe ano ama 2 Ghana cedis. No ma gari konku baako. Eye ma konku no baako asa.
Enti nkwa no ne o ye sa da na se.
Me me ko ha me nkwa pe na me ko hokoye. Me ko ape.
Nti owie na o ma o 2 series ne gari ne ade no. Say like in faswa bani awe no so anase na wo.
Remember na me say ebia menya dia me de be ye. Anu ame nkwan na ya echemaye no. Kwase anya papa. Ti bia menya de be to magi ene nchen. Kwase nkwan ne nchen ne makonu. Ti menya de bia be to nchen ne makone we kakra na me de aye me nkwan.
Nti mamutumi ye aduane wo ho no.
Obe sika da be we obetimi aye because ho ne de opa bia benya. Provide say wo sika nkwan de a. Eno be didi say na wo fie na.
Okay. Nti oma wo sa sika ne gari no na obaye no first day na wo ye what was the period again a che ansa na wo ko hobie man.
Dabi me ko to aso me this I mean ko Saturday and Sunday.
Nti na fe one na wo ko.
Me na me ko.
Ade nti na fe na because wo ko na ya wo ya nti ade.
Se me ti o ya ni wie ya chire no. Na fe I me de. Go me ko amenye sika. Me ko amenye sika.
Nti sika na ma na aya wo da na se na ye ko so no so na aya wo de.
Na nya me de mo be sika na menya de ye. Eno ma meduanum eno ankwan no edin. Because one kwan na father rashes beku pompo be bubo kwase kwan nye kwan nye te se onwa asana watimi edi
nti eno no e course for how long?
Pastor me ya for 3 years. Me ya for 3 years.
Nti sa mbere mu na wo ye no na mfe prison officers na dey no munim
omo ya we said say na ekoso e wo yard ni omo ya we say na ekoso e wo eye yard ni omo ya we pa
nti nipa ya wo so oye sa no oye hwan
oye inmate oye inmate ne guy na me fa na boro na boro ne guy na me different wo hona no oye inmate
nti hono no mo friend na boro
patan
boy obi aga na ha yenim no.
Okay, what's amanfo nim no because I say oye baron kese amanfo nim no pa oso kwate madia amanfo enim no.
I will say din ben san ye din nim no abonten
ono edin anamo so omode nim ne na najman but oba inside what they are boro na e friend wo hono but wiska and meka na no bo wiska wa ma boys ni bi kura eton ton ne ama edema no e wo ho
enti e course sa no ni ana on ne e course sa no afede na ba ya mujae
e ba cho de o ma me jae ye papa we ono abo obuga peli about 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
Youth employment, former youth employment director.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. It's all no how no okay what is say ni say and because no be appointing me actually no.
Mm-hmm.
Say ni say na me ye.
Mm-hmm.
Na man hwe ya ada say me wu ha. And I say me dey yale na be ko fie.
Mm-hmm.
Ti me pa me njai. No no abeboa me support me. O ma do anti fin de kure. Obi ya amanfo mama hwe me. Say me nko aya kwa ne ho bi mu dia obeboa me. Ampa so metie papa ne afutu ana anopa bia no me kwa na oma miska e mami ti sese mna ne niama metimi de esimi niama ne nyina no no o de mami ti mami jae no hoko. Yes.
Until the Honorable Abuga Pili in a buy no beboa or prison so until also hostis here.
I no invite no be PBN next year more.
Until onona a beboa ma we den. We jai.
Pacha.
Enti to see how we jai no nsun so ben pan e de abrel.
Say me to so. Enti me enko private and to so. Me ko private I just say be 4 days. I met me akoba ho. And I'm me dey me dey share me to. Me bo paper na me dey share me to kwan no.
Nti see how wote e bi shawo.
Ma bo paper na me dey share me to kwan no.
I didn't hear.
Because I am supposed to so if me to.
Enti o ka say o call eyi so 4 days here. Say we na e de wa we de na we.
Ti na mentai normally mentai no munso bebre. Mentai no munso bebre.
Nti say e bi o how to na e count say o kwa.
E ka me kra say me kwa bi wa me kwa. Me ko be wi na e bia moja na be diso. Tiane sa na je say me pe desta na me de apepa moja ni timi wia ma pen so de awofro na ma pe pepa ma san de ahye tokuro no nti always bia no me ni aduane a eye mako me ndi mako aduane
I didn't hear
because of say bia me di mako a e metimi akọ toilet ntem.
Nti wo term of sentence no 12 years na suyansa na yeyi wa na yeyi wo ntem.
Pache de bi me sentence in de suyansa ani yi me.
Nti da ben sa na yeyi o.
Pache me fan say last week mo na Tuesday no ma na yeyi me. Ti me ba ha no me fan say me ba ha Wednesday no. Ana ya ka mu ka cha me say me mra eye ene.
Okay. Nti yeyi wa obai say na last week you me an yeyi o. Nti yeyi wo no akohwehwe wo yire kira kwan wo mba no ebusia.
Me nko fie.
I didn't hear.
Cause they said me ni they me be ko fie kra me ni bi. Nti station one na mako pe obi o Medina station one na meda.
But nti obusia for no after 1 year no obi amba hobby o munsi hobby.
Pacha Debbie. Yes, hobby.
Okay. All right. I've got some few minutes. 0266 660 735 0266 660 735. We're talking to Frederick Ampao. Na sisi ano se bi o eba ne se obi ewo mboa bi opeso de boa wa kwan be so sana betumi de aboa.
Amede.
Okay, maybe Kofas is your more friend. Hello.
Hello, Kerry.
Russia.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kale, A hard power.
Mm.
A hard papa. Me, a dear to me that. Then Miss Sumakume Mupa. Until a Bible can say, the job be a German. And can be done on Yakuma. I can be at Yakupo, a man about no aquarium. Me say, me got two super. You were Jamestown. Then you know, it's still rigid as a carry. And at the end, come say, be happy. They say, I don't know, striking me, say, me go home. I dispatch myself from Accra 6:30 because I arrive around 11:30 to 12. That time, before the change more on more, airport side, no more here. Now, a big runabout. You could do a late, you do on matter, and yet easy. But the so pass me. So fast my home there, I can be a new of you. And I mean back. Or no more the fact so say my bar physical will be so. And then about the son say, oh, yes, our end one, oh, yes, travel. Or you better and I saw our room. Say, see, I'll make a new kind where boy, Lord, the new year, Tanama, Yakupo Afrem, Wako. And yes, I mean, I'm cool. And that dear, according to marriage, the rocks. The Onusu, some man of the town, so Onusu the new date. Obama, one day. Onusu the new me, Wako.
Russia, emphasis.
Say, Oko two obiso say, when the football, Oko two say, the big deal with you. Me, never be there, Januman and cooking. On what I go by the look upright.
Okay, and that's the rush hour. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I know her name is Kasak Fiakra.
My auntie.
Yeah, me problem because he says sometimes, you know, say, yes, some say, yes, because the church is no more any part, because as somebody say, no, we are judge, who else, who treat who, who are nipa. Let's put the book aside. Let's face reality. Sometimes judges are more Ghana. How can we judge them too? Because sometimes judges, you have a problem with Ghana. You have a problem because you have Ghana. Or be a judge, I have your book. And I can't say so. I so far watching to assembly. So now the reality of the case of the matter of the wow. And you say this is law change you, but nipa change. We don't think through things. I'm sorry to say that, but that is the reality. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you too but I mean, we should be mindful of the things that we see. I mean, your opinions, we express them. So 05000000385. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Steven, calling from station.
Okay. Can you move away from your radio, please?
Okay.
All right, let's hear you.
The other brand cano, Pankasa, na Dinsu. My friend Buddha. You were doing Minya Kitobi, a frame say, Papa Biabafi. I'm if I can, a bridge moment, the Bafi. If I feel the two of them, any women with them. They are me and say, the local mood them. And I'm sure about the mammy, any papa. Tell me, young, see, I will feel. I'm buying over two guys with them and the other day. The German call. Yes. But I didn't know, say, who are Kuma, a year, but a dinsu. Me mammy Gano, in say, on saving. On job, on friend left in Gano. They are coming now. On fine, I go to it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
The program I'm taking back to Kana. maybe I've been told that, but the way I got is prison 17. And now I say Ghana at time it is starting say prison hono or bedroom and miracle because for me now you pack. And the Nipa no going now, no meaning now. I hear me, my say, oh, you teach you about oh, prison, here, Europe say, uko prison. To be correct, church that could be bonus for prison because prison is all there. So what you are saying, prison, they serve you 3 times a day. Early in the morning, crown solid. Now you they disturb you, and only punishment, no. You are done our feeling. I want to brother, where you say, and that's you. You ballers, Yabon, I will be at the fact. May I faster, would team it dread. So, open the Bibriani as a farmer, big time or 7 or Bubus are so open more and assessing. See now what you see on all this soup we are around with that. A Bobby Kenna, yes, I had the bedroom as I serve. What I say, about 5 for yes, I serve. Oh, it just says Ghana had the way I almost city and also Africa, the old city business, no. And you're very bad into more media people right now. From that about the way they treat the prisoners. It's not nice. You know, about Montio, about Montio, the Bano say. I say you mean answer the same. You be kind. Sorry, excuse me to say that. Jimmy Kakla.
Okay, all right. Brenti, we're not answering anymore because of time, so I would end the calls here. Our time is up. So I'm even speechless. So DJ Paloma is someone. So if you have any donation, any help or whatsoever, you want to give out to Frederick Ampao. The number is 0247 16339. So that's the number you can actually give out. So sorry, it's on mobile money. So 0244 actually 0244 716339 0244 716339. The name to the number is Richard Donko. So if you have any help you would want to give out to Frederick Ampao, you send it to 0244 716339 0244 716339. Richard Donko is the number registered to it. On last week and any free prisons by NT only mobile money number. So somebody's doing that on his behalf. But I can assure you that whatever funds that come through this number or to this number would equally be accounted to Frederick Ampao. Counselor, we're wrapping up. So what kind of help in this case does Frederick need now?
Okay, thank you very much, Kwesi. What Frederick would need now, he needs a therapist to help him. Psychologically, he's down, he's depressed, frustrated, all these things put together. He needs a therapist to help him. And again, he made mention whilst in his earlier submission that he was attending a church, Full Gospel. I believe that Full Gospel is a family, a church, and he is part of the family, although he's been in incarceration for this 9 years. I believe that the church should also look for him again, and at least try and encourage him. What he's going through now, he's going through rejection. If somebody can, or a society or a group can accept him and keep him around him, he will be able to forget some of these things, the past experiences, and be able to work on himself. Because you may not need only the therapist, you need a family who will let him know really that you are loved, we cherish you, or it's not lost. You can get back to where you started, and I believe that we can pick it up from there. Okay,
all right. So this one says, good morning, Mr. Isel. I sympathize with Frederick. He might put much his heart, his money, his money is all in the marriage. His wife was too wicked. She never thought of her kids, the love of her husband. She's simply Delilah in Samson's story in the book of the Bible. This truly bad. How can he trust a woman again? Oh my God! You didn't add your name to it. This one says that good morning, Okay, so already we've received payment from Amate Joseph. We've received 50 cedis from Amate Joseph. That's actually a good gesture. This one said, "Good morning, Mr. Isel. God bless you with the kind of job you're doing for Xylophone and for Mother Ghana. The issue today is very interesting. Sorry for the man. Ladies of today, I don't know if God created them differently from the way He created our great grandmothers, because things are not like then. This world has changed to the extent that a lady can still have sex with a ex. Okay, Lord have mercy on us. We the youth are on their way to become responsible husband. Okay, all right. This one, it says that Kwesi, let the man speak. Tree. Okay, all right. He just did that. Okay, so these are some messages. Like I'm saying, I'm sorry I can't pick calls again, but whatever help we have and we can give to Frederick can be channeled to the mobile money number 0244 716 339 0244 716 339. The name to the number is Richard Donko. Frederick, then we can finally.
The mekache Ghana for say any you for say so a before you have to stay away from anger. Na ahombrase enso ehia. Say even though so akwara na bra ho asema no. Nye peni nko so akwara mpo a bra ho asema no. Ni futu ametimi aka.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Counselor, and that is thank you for your submission this morning. And then also to Frederick, again, one Frederick's matter. So, Councillor Henry Okumi Meno, thank you, sir, for your time this morning. And then Frederick, nearby can say Basha Ding and I'm face so no. It will be a war, I want to be a warm boy, be a debema, a Frederick, no bit to me a Senyama, mobile money number 0244 716 339 0244 716 339. Okay, so that's how we're wrapping up today's show today, Friday. Thank you for your calls, for your messages, and for your contribution. Really appreciate it. I want to say big thanks to the production team, Ojefu Papa Frida, Irene, Samira, and also to Oman Nana. Again, Monday between the hours of 5 and 9 will come your way again, and then with another production. Okay, so another cash in receive is 20 cedis from Chris Ben Classic Ventures. Chris Ben Classic Ventures also sent in 20 cedis. So, like I'm saying, be rest assured that whatever money that comes through this number will equally be given to Frederick. And also thanks to the streaming team, Emeka, the senior Emeka who doesn't sleep. Showbiz Agenda is next on your radio. So, okay. It keeps coming. We've got 10 cedis from Interoperability Pullover. Okay, so all right. Keep them coming. So once again, it's 0247 16339 0247 0244 716 0244 716 is the mobile money number for Frederick. The name to the number is Richard Donko. So thank you for doing the listening, and thank you for sending your contributions. God bless you, and God bless Mother Ghana. Showbiz Agenda is next on your radio with Sammy Flex. My name is Kwesi Esel. Thank